Thank you very much. Thank you very much. No. Representative of the High Commission, mayoral candidate. It gives me great joy to be here to discuss certain critical issues that concerns Ghana as a country. I put my discussion like an academician, someone in academic would want to do some presentation of our work and then show the effects of such collaborations and how relevant these collaborations will be for the Ghanaian economy. I'm not going to bore you. I'll show you that it's going to be a short presentation, and in that presentation I'll put to you that there's a need for us to do proper collaboration between the two countries to ensure that we get the immediate returns that comes with it. Now, as part of the discussion, I would also show to you that without proper interaction with one another, it is going to be very difficult for us to really come to a conclusion, even if we agree here that by next year we have a particular target to meet. Without something concrete we can put our hands on, it will be very difficult for us to say, oh, we came here, we had a discussion, what did we agree on? Something more credible, something we can hold on to. And I like what the other speakers have said. Now, when I was given the topic by Maria, I was a little bit taken aback because I thought it was a little bit broad. But I sat down quietly and I thought about it and I said, you know what? For every activity that involves trade, for every activity that involves some amount of interaction between two countries, their politician must be there. And the mayors will be a very key point of reference when we want to draw a line between these two countries. And so when I look at the topic, I would want to start by letting us understand that the world right now has changed. Now, country A, country B do not exist anymore. We are more like a global village. The supply chain structure is such that produce are ready the next morning, in the evening it's here on the shop market for us to buy. In fact, it's interesting, last year, an area work I did, the findings were intriguing, that the cultivation started in the morning, pineapples, fresh cuts in the afternoon, in the evening it was on the shelf of Asda and Sainsbury's. Then I asked myself, okay, let's hold on a minute. There is so much linkage between the two countries than we even think we have. We have more linkage than anything. And anytime there's shortage here, it affects the other side. The reason why I narrowed my discussion to agro-processing is because of the background of the whole discussion. And I want us to look at it again. Agribusiness is one of the critical areas. As an investor, someone who works with Trump, an investment consultancy that does a lot of investment for countries in Africa, I will pride myself to say that there are so many opportunities in Africa, and I'm sure I cannot add more to what you've already said. So much investment opportunities. And with what I've seen, these are some of the findings that we observe. Ghana in particular, as a country, you look at the topography, I always say that anywhere in Ghana you can always grow something in Ghana. Anywhere in Ghana. In the northern Ghana in 2012, I visited Tamale on a research program for some investors who want to cultivate mangoes. I mean, if you look at it, you might think mangoes in Tamale, is it not too hot? You might think. Yeah. But with the right infrastructure, with the right technology, you can do anything anywhere in Ghana. The point is, the Ghanaian environment has got this conducive climate that ensures that you can cultivate any item. Again, the soil fertility, amazing soil fertility. Soil fertility that ensures that at any point in time, whenever you cultivate organic produce, not the kind of produce that you see that has been that are not more natural. We talk about organic products, more expensive products, goods that are quite relatable with the ordinary consumer in the UK. We feel that organic produce are more conducive and healthier than the other produce. We offer the best in terms of the soil fertility. It gives you, straight away, we don't need to add a lot of additive to the soil. It has what we call availability. You know what? In terms of farming, we haven't even cultivated even 1/4 of the farm area. And so if you want to go into agro-processing business or agribusiness, you have no problem. Last week, a consultancy team went to Ghana to do work on palm cultivation. And the feedback is amazing. Jack Trump has led the team to Ghana to do this work to ensure that we cultivate palm. The idea is not for the benefit of the investor. For any investor would want the money, but for the good of the people of Ghana. Because for long, the ordinary Ghanaian has been sidelined in terms of the returns that comes from agriculture. And agribusiness is going to put a different face to it. We think that by investing in the ordinary person, you end up reducing poverty in that life. So when we talk about human capital, everyone has spoken about human capital, democracy, the Honorable Rep also talked about democracy and peril when it comes to West Africa. And then social infrastructure, we have a lot. Now, we have spoken a lot about companies. I was of the view that the companies that really strike me a lot, especially in Europe, are these companies. Let's take one, for instance, the Tamale Fruit Company, purely mangoes, pineapple blue skies, oranges Fedora, cashew nut company. People are thinking cashew nut. Why cashew nut? In fact, the last investors that we took to Ghana to do a feasibility study on the production of cashew nut, we saw that, you know what, Wenchi and its surrounding environment has got the capacity to produce enough cashew nut to supply the market in Europe. All you need is the right investors and the right approach, then you can be able to achieve that. We talk about palm oil. In fact, palm oil is seriously is becoming a very interesting area to look at. Very interesting. And now investors are coming to look at palm oil as an alternative. Malaysia is choked. Asia is getting choked. Africa is the new ground for cultivation of palm oil. And so it is time to take advantage. This is the best time to invest. I hope I'm not boring you. But bringing this to a closure, then the question will be, so how does this really relate to the discussion we're having? How does it? Now, one thing we need to know is that for any agro-business, there requires the need for technological transfer. And one of the things that I observed in my research, the fact that when it comes to technological transfer, there are examples or case studies that have shown that technology has improved the lives of the ordinary person. We do not want to go into agribusiness without influencing the life of the other ordinary Ghanaian. So where? Let's look at one. With the introduction of MD2, well, from Costa Rica, for instance, so many farmers' lives have changed. Now farmers can cultivate the pineapples and then send it to the port for it to be exported. People are living well as a result of the cultivation of pineapple. When it was brought in, it was acclimatized. The Science, Research, CSIR, and Government of Ghana, Ministry of Food and Agriculture, sat together, collaborated with such research, and then came up with something that is more acclimatized to the Ghanaian environment. That's a critical case in point. Two, we talk about mechanical technology. In palm processing, I looked at one case where the ordinary Ghanaian is now able to access machines that are locally manufactured. That's what I want you to look at. Locally manufactured. So there's a collaboration between Western economies and developing economies to train the ordinary person on machinery, on how to process the raw material. That's what we are talking about. We want to move to a step where we think, you know what, we're not going to sit there and say, what are we going to do to the raw material? No. What we want to do is let the ordinary person be able to process the raw material and then add value, as we've been talking about all this time. So we are going to add value. Teach them how to fish. Don't fish for them. That's what we're talking about. Then the question will be, where does the mayors come in? That's my reflections. I sat down quietly and asked, so where does the mayors come in? For me, I've got two activities that I think will be very important for the organizers of this program. And the first one is that we've talked about collaboration. In which direction are we going to collaborate? I'm ending. In which direction? My first activity, which I think should be a yearly activity which we can pursue with the help of the mayors, is to ensure that we bring together two research institutions at any point in time to look at a particular angle of research to improve the kind of products that we have as a country and the kind of results that we may get from some of the output or some of the challenges that we may have so that we can have solutions for them. Two, we can also create a platform where we can exhibit agro-based businesses in Ghana to showcase, and here I want us to look at it, showcase products that product and meat input producers. And the idea with input producers is so that we can transfer technology on that platform. It doesn't need to be in the UK, it could be in Ghana. We would need the help of the mayoral candidate and whoever becomes mayor to assist us, to ensure that at least we can get such individuals, people with such skill, to come sit with us so that we can learn how to fish rather than fish rice. Thank you for your attention.